Have you ever been sitting at your computer and you look at all your files in your desktop and you realize, I have to clean all of this? Like, this has to be organized, and I should clear out my closet of my hard drives and just to make up space, because I'm taking up almost 9 terabytes of who knows what. I was just sort of doom scrolling through my own history. I was deleting old screenshots, clearing out note apps, and things that didn't make sense anymore. And I found this file. It was dated almost exactly 5 years ago today. And it wasn't a diary entry or event or anything. It was just a list, a checklist, actually. It was titled The 5-Year Plan. You could tell that the ambitions were very huge. They seemed reasonable, but I had written down a specific job title at a company I haven't thought about in years. I wanted to move to a city I still never visited. I think one of the points was just write a novel. Another was like 6-pack, just that generic high-level success stuff. And I sat there on the couch just staring at it. And it's funny because looking at it now, I hardly did any of that. It's like I started, but it never flourished, right? And I realized I'm a complete stranger to the guy who wrote that note. If I met him in a bar today, I think we'd have a lot to talk about, but it'd ultimately be fruitless. We all have that ghost, the shadow version of ourselves who all made the right moves. The version, that woke up at 5 a.m. every day. The version of you that invested in Bitcoin at the right time, and the version of you that said the right thing. And then compared to that imaginary perfect version of myself, my actual life felt just small. Like, it felt accidental, like I wasn't supposed to be here. The series of mistakes just sort of, kept happening until I got here. And it's weird because I think we spend a lot of time grieving the versions of ourselves that didn't make it. There's this heaviness that comes with potential. And we talk about potential like it's a good thing, like it's a compliment. Teachers tell you you have so much potential. Your friends and family say you have so much potential. But actually, I think potential is just anxiety, just in a different outfit. Because if you could be anything, you're sort of nothing right now. You just have the potential. It's the same reason why I like Eevee, the Pokemon. Eevee can be anything. Eevee has raw potential. You're just a ball of possibility. I remember reading the Sylvia Plath passage in college about the fig tree. I think everyone reads it in their 20s, usually. I forget where. I will find it in post. She's sitting at this fig tree, starving to death because she can't make up her mind which fig she wants to choose. And then you could take this fig as a life you want to have or a goal you want to achieve, right? Like, one fig could be like a wife and a happy home, and one's a poet and one's a professor and one's a YouTuber and one's a novelist and one's an artist, and so on and so forth, right? And that's what killed me, because choosing one meant losing the rest. It was that sacrifice. It was understanding the sacrifice. And I used to be paralyzed by it. I wanted to be the artist and a corporate success and a traveler and a streamer and, all these things. I wanted a quiet life in the woods, right? And I wanted to hustle in the city. And I wanted to be alone, but I didn't want to be lonely. For a long time, it just not choosing felt safe, right? If I didn't commit to anything, if I couldn't fail at anything, I could just stay in the waiting room. I could just stay in purgatory. But the problem is, time doesn't really care if you pick a lane. It just keeps on moving anyway. And all of those figs that had potential, they just start to rot and they turn black and drop off the tree. And now I'm not choosing anymore. I'm just dealing with what's left. And I think it's really hard. It's a lot harder than it used to be. Not to sound like an old man yelling at the screen right now, but the internet makes it so much worse. Because before, you only had to compare to yourself, like your neighbors and your friends, your cousin. When you open your phone, you're immediately confronted with the highlight of reels of billions of lives that are all happening right now, or a week before, or a year before, or you don't know. You're seeing it now, even though they might have done that 5 years ago, or It's taken them 10 years to get to this point. All you see is the now, and it's tough, right? You see some 19-year-old millionaire. You see someone living in a van in New Zealand. You feel boring, right? You feel lonely. You feel unaccomplished. And it creates this background radiation of regret in your mind. You know, it's like I'm in the wrong place. I'm doing the wrong thing. I should have actually learned how to code. That way I can use the technology today to build something immaculate, amazing. You know, I'd be able, or even just finance or music theory or anything, you know? I chose video editing, and it makes me feel like, you know, I can optimize it, right? Like it's like a game build. You know, you pick the right stats and the right equipment, I'd be winning, you know, but this build's a mess. You know, it's a series of accidents and compromises. And I think I've spent so much time looking at other people's maps that I actually forgot what the compass I was holding on to, essentially. I was so busy trying to figure out the best way to live that I actually forgot to live. You know, I got lost in the sauce, so to speak. But lately, I don't know. Something feels different, right? Like maybe I'm getting tired, and I've been feeling this kind of relief. It's, you know, it's coming from a weird place. You know, it's coming from realizing that I'm running out of time to be somebody else. You know, there's a quiet freedom in knowing that I can close the doors, that the options are actually limiting now. Because if all I have is one grape or one tree or whatever, if I have one, that's all I have. It's that or die. You know, when you're 20, the world does feel infinite, you know, and that's terrifying. But when you get a little older, you realize that you're just you. You have a specific set of habits, good or bad. And, you know, you like your coffee a certain way. You're good at some things, and you've always been terrible at others. You know, you have a bad knee or a bad back, bad memory. You know, you get tired after 10 p.m. Maybe you're not going to be an astronaut, and we're probably not going to be rock stars. And acknowledging that, it's not just giving up, it's being grounded. You know, if it happens, it happens. But you don't go for it unless you absolutely know. Like, that's just all. It's be a rock star or die. For me, it's not be a rock star or die, you know? It's to stay on track and to keep going making content, you know? It means I can look at the list from 5 years ago, you know, the one with the abs and the novel and the Italian, and instead of feeling guilt, I feel empathy instead. Because, you know, I did start that novel, and I do go to the gym, and I am in an Italian class. So, you know, that guy just didn't know who he was yet. He thought, you know, I thought superheroism was valid. I didn't realize that being a regular person is really hard work. And I think it is worthy of respect. You know, there's peace in these limitations. There's peace in saying that this is my life. It's not perfect. It's not optimized. It's mine. And I'm going to do the best I can with it. I'm certain by now, if you know me, and you're listening to this, I have some kind of disorder, for sure. I have some kind of thing that was brought on by who knows what. Whether it be alcohol, THC, or a couple of fluids missing, who knows? I deleted the note, if you're wondering. You know, I didn't archive it and I didn't save it for motivation. I was just, let go of it. I think about myself. I was 24. I was 24 years old, you know? I had this whole life ahead of me, and that guy's a ghost. And I had to tell myself, you know, he's just a collection of neurons in my brain that are firing, telling me that I'm not enough. But I'm the real person. I'm who's standing here right now, and I'm talking to you. You know, I'm the one who stayed. I'm the one who made mistakes. I'm the one who wasted time. I'm the one who is tired, and I'm still here. And honestly, I'm proud of myself for making it this far. You know, that I don't have to be this optimized version of myself. I don't need to be the version of me that made it. You know, I just got to be comfortable with what I have. Right now, I am making money on YouTube. That's awesome. I have a network of people who are willing to support me, and I'm excited that I will make something for my life. And you know, it's a little boring sometimes, but it's real. And I think that's got to be enough. So I have way more videos coming out, maybe not on this channel, but I'm for the first time, I'm gonna show you guys just the profile pictures. This is how many channels that I have up right now, and some of them put out a video a month, some of them try to put out a video a week. And this channel, the Gaming Forever channel, will just be a collection of my gaming life. I have a couple of videos that I hope come out soon. We're trying to speed run Silksong, and that's been tough. That's been really tough. So if you guys are willing to stick around here and listen to me ramble and watch me improve my editing skills, follow me on this journey on Gaming Forever. Thank you, and have a good day, guys.